Today on This Week in Video Games, the PS3 is being infested by hackers. We're talking about the 3DS announcements, and Chad Concelmo is here. Hello, gamers! How you guys doing? Welcome to This Week in Video Games. I am Andrea Renee, and as always, I'm joined in studio by my beautiful co-host, Miss Jessica Villarreal.
Hello, everyone. Good to see you. Thank you for joining us tonight.
And as always, we've got Adrian Acevedo-Smith, man in the chat.
Hello, guys. Nice to see you again.
I'm excited for your segment today, Adrian.
LittleBigPlanet2. It's gonna be cool.
Heck yeah! But before we get to any of that, I want to remind you guys you can follow us on Twitter at TWIVG. If you're not following us, please do. It's lots of fun. You can also email all three of us at videogames@thisweekin.com if you guys have suggestions for the show, if you want to see Adrian do a particular walkthrough, or if you want to tell Jess how awesome she is. You can email us at videogames@thisweekin.com. Plus, I want to tell you guys about this really cool company that we just started working with. They're called TakeTake.com. That's TakeTake.com. It's a brand new site, you guys, and it's like Foursquare, but instead of checking in places, you check in things. Now, I want to let you know the site hasn't officially launched yet. It's going to launch very soon, but you can request an invite if you go to their website. It's really neat. It's this kind of the social community site where you take a favorite object of yours, let's say your Xbox 360, and you can put it on your TakeTake profile, and you can put what you love about your Xbox. Or if you're not an Xbox fan, you can also put what you hate about it. And then you can also see what other people put on their sites about their Xbox and why they love it or hate it. It's really kind of neat. So if you're looking for something to that, like you're researching something that you want to buy, you can go to this site and check it out. So it hasn't launched yet, like I said, but it's looking to be really, really awesome. This whole new idea and wave about social networking and reviewing. So it's TakeTake.com. Definitely give it a check out. All right, so we're going to get into our first segment. As I said in the cold open, we have a very special guest with us in studio from Destructoid.com. Chad Concelmo is here.
I'm so excited.
Yay, we should get some of those balloons going, man.
I know, some kind of celebration.
Absolutely, and we're so glad to have you.
I'm so glad to be here.
Yeah, well, for fans of the show who have been with us since day one, you may remember that Chad actually hosted an episode with Michael, my former co-host, and myself, way back in the day when we were a brand new show. You had this really cool segment called Extra Life.
Yeah, for one episode.
And then he got busy with his Warner Brothers career, but we still wanted him back, and it took a few months, but now you're here, and we're very glad to have you.
So excited.
So tell us about what's going on with Destructoid.
Well, since everybody must know about Destructoid, obviously, but if there's anyone out there that doesn't, it's a gaming blog. You know, kind of like the other ones, Kotaku and Joystick. You know, very similar, but we're so much cooler. But yeah, we basically just, we report news, write features, reviews, everything. Yeah, we're all excited about all the new 3DS news that's going out. Everything's going great. Destructoid is bigger than ever, which is crazy. It started off as like 5 readers, like 5 years ago, and now it's like one of the biggest video game websites on the internet.
Yeah, you guys are huge, and I watch your guys' live shows from time to time. I can't watch every day, but your guys' Justin page is all like pimped out, and it looks really cool.
It's really honestly crazy, because I've been there since almost the beginning, and it's so surreal how much we've grown. I mean, I was just in Best Buy the other day, and I picked up Vanquish for the PS3 just to look at it, and I looked at the back, and there was a huge quote from our review, like on the box. And
That's amazing.
How is this happening? I think I punched an old lady. I was so excited. I was like, I don't know how to handle this. But yeah, it's pretty cool, and I love it, obviously, and it's I really like the site because I think we have a really good voice, and we're really, really opinionated, but not douchey. I mean, some people may think we're douchey, but I think we're just really honest, and we have a really good mix of people and writers, and yeah, and we kind of pride ourselves on the community, and I just think it's a really great site, and hopefully I'll be them for a long time.
Well, and you guys have a really loyal fan base.
Oh, yeah.
Like the people who follow Destructoid are like diehard Destructoid
Yeah,
fans.
almost to a fault. Not really. I mean,
they're blowing me up on email all the time.
The actual community members are incredibly awesome, but a lot of other sites might be a little intimidated by how hardcore they are about Destructoid. But that's great for us, and I love all of them, so they're all part of the family.
Very cool. So we have this really fun little video of you doing something for Destructoid, and I want to show it right now.
Understand. Hey everyone, this is Chad Concelmo. I am here on the world-famous Walk of Fame in Hollywood Boulevard to let you guys know what video games are hot on the streets. This week, there is one game the entire celebrity world is talking about. No, it's not Call of Duty or Kinect. It's actually Mother 3, the Japan-only RPG released in 2006 for the Game Boy Advance. Now I got a little celebrity gossip for you. Last week at the premiere of Tyler Perry's Four Colored Girls, Keisha and Taylor Swift were both tweeting about how amazing Mother 3 is. And last night, when I was sleeping with Charlize Theron, she could not stop talking about how much she loved Mother 3. It was Mother 3 this and Mother 3 that. I was like, Charlize, focus! But anyway, Mother 3 is obviously the hot game right now, so check it out. And also check back with me to find out what other games are hot on the streets.
Nice.
I love the way your face is in that photo, and
Yeah.
I had no idea that you were hitting Charlize, man. That's big time.
Yeah, you know, add to the notches on the bedpost. Charlize, Natalie, the list goes on and on.
That's hilarious. No, it was funny because we're getting some really interesting comments in our chat room, and I want to give a big shout out to all of our fans in our chat room. We love you guys. If you guys aren't joining the DCD, Andy, Curtis, Cliff, Brett, I know you're in there, even though you're using your screen name. We love you guys. You can join our chat at ustream.tv/thisweekin if you want to join the chat. It's really lots of fun. And what's going on over there, Adrian? Anything that we need to shout out to?
No, we're just
You're like,
commenting
no,
on
they're
the video.
boring right now.
We're just commenting on the video right now.
It was funny.
It was funny stuff.
So I haven't played Mother 3.
What? Well, it technically only came out in Japan, so it's tough to find.
Oh,
They
well,
did like
thanks.
a
That would
fan.
explain
Well, they
it.
did a fan translation. It's for the Game Boy Advance, and it's like I don't know if you ever play Earthbound for the Super Nintendo. Oh, I have so much to teach you. I'm like a huge retro fan, so like I love like Super Nintendo games and stuff. And Mother 3 was like a Game Boy Advance sequel, and it's this incredible RPG. And like the whole point of that video was basically like, you know, obviously no one has played Mother 3 or no one's really heard of Mother 3, so like, you know, everyone thought we were gonna do a segment on like, we were kind of hyping up this hot on the street segment. Yet again, it only ran for one episode, so I have like a curse like on anything we do, like one episode goes. But yeah, so like obviously the joke was like, everyone was like, oh, they're gonna be talking about like Call of Duty, and I was talking about a game that no one's heard of.
No, but I think
it's
that's
really
funny,
good.
though.
Yeah, no, it's funny, I guess, but it's such an amazing game. So if you ever have a chance to like check it out, get the fan translation, it's totally worth it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it's really good.
So I have a burning question that I want to know about.
Yes.
What is your obsession with dolphins?
Oh my God. I love dolphins so much. I thought you were about to bring one out, and I almost started crying.
Yes,
I was
let's
like,
just wheel
you like
the
roll out
dolphin
this
in.
giant tank, and I'm like, oh my God, my dreams have come true. Well, there really is no real reason, I guess. I just kind of slowly became obsessed with them. I think they're like, I don't want to get too cheesy, but it's gonna happen anyway, so I might as well just go all out. I just think they're really like beautiful creatures, and they're so smart, and like I love the ocean. I love swimming, you know. Like I surf sometimes. I was like, I love like being like one with the ocean. It's very like, you know, very zen. But I've always loved dolphins. It became a thing on the site, and now it's like everyone knows me as like the dolphin guy. People send me dolphin like presents. Like I'll randomly get presents in the mail of like crazy dolphin lamps and dolphin like statues. I kind of, if you walk into my room, I look like an old lady or something like that, because there's like dolphin like ceramics like everywhere. People think I'm a little crazy, but I got to swim with them too like recently, and it was like a very like emotional experience.
That's cool, though.
It's
So
cool.
you're telling
I
me
guess.
that Echo was your favorite game?
Well, surprisingly, I think Echo's a terrible game, which is very ironic. But yeah, like dolphins really haven't been represented very well in video games, unfortunately.
But they were
yeah.
represented well in the movies. Did you see Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy?
Yes.
I love that
And the
opening
books,
sequence.
exactly, and the book's amazing as well.
Yeah.
And The Simpsons, when they get caught in the nets.
Oh,
Yes.
yes.
Take over the
speaking of
land.
dolphins.
That was the
Someday
best
they're gonna rise
episode.
up.
I know.
Smarter than people.
They are. They just need thumbs now.
Everyone better say they like them, because the day that they take over,
I had a dolphin
I'm gonna
poster.
be the new king.
I loved my dolphin poster. It was like jumping, and there was like this magical moon. You know those
I
ones
had
from
that
the
Oh yeah,
one.
90s.
and it's all
I
like
had that
airbrush,
one.
like spray painted looking, like
Oh, yeah.
I'm trying to find some amazing T-shirt with like one like jumping over like a rainbow, like with like the
Oh,
waves
man.
crashing.
That is now going to be my quest to find you.
Please.
An amazing
I had the
dolphin
exact
t-shirt.
same one. I had one with unicorns that was like pink, and then the dolphins one that was like at night with the moon, and they were jumping out of the ocean, and the woman was like
Oh, that's the
blowing
one
the
I
kiss.
had.
Yeah, I know.
How is that
Awesome.
poster
That's-
all
We're
over the
such
place?
girls.
I know.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Okay, so I was doing some research on your blog, looking through the Destructoid site, and I noticed that you have like 50 million top 10 lists of video games.
Oh my god, that's my thing. I'm like the list guy.
From like all different kinds of genres
Yeah.
and platforms and things, and I was just like, oh my lord, how did he come up with all these lists? So you've got to have a specific type that you like better than others, right?
Like game-wise?
Yeah, for
I mean,
genre-wise?
not really. I play everything on the planet. I actually have like no life except for playing video games. Like pretty much, I do nothing else. It's
Like most gamers out there.
Yeah, I guess everyone can relate, but I just like I really play everything. But I really am, like I said before, I love retro games. Like I love old Super Nintendo is my favorite system ever. But I play everything now, everything. So like doing top 10 lists for me is easy just because I have like so much knowledge of video games in my head because I just play so much of them. But
Do you
yeah.
have a favorite? Like, what was the top 10 list that was the funnest to write?
Ooh. Well, recently I did top 10 best Disney games, and I'm a huge Disney fan. And I don't know if you remember back in the
Please
day.
tell
like,
me Aladdin made the list.
both Aladdins.
Yes.
The
Nice.
Super Nintendo one and the Genesis one. I put the Genesis one a little bit above the Super Nintendo one because it's a tough call because they're both amazing. They're both totally different games too, which is awesome. Because nowadays you get ports and like it's the exact same game, you know, like different consoles. But back in the day, they used to make like completely different games for different consoles. Which is
I
pretty
know,
cool.
developers are getting lazy. They're like,
Don't even get me
just give us
started.
our money.
Yeah. Number one though was DuckTales.
Oh,
Ever.
Nice.
Yeah, I had a couple like more like obscure ones on there though, but that was kind of one of my recent favorites. But it's funny because like top 10 lists are so cheesy and they're so subjective, but like they get so many hits for the site and they get so many comments because everyone's like, "You fail, you suck. Like, why didn't you put this on the list?" And I'm like, "It's my opinion."
I don't think they're cheesy at all. I love top 10 lists.
I love
because
them
they're
because-
easy to
yeah.
read and because like
And
a
they're
lot of times
fun.
you can agree or disagree with, you know, what
Yeah,
the game is.
and they also a
things
lot of
like
times they'll
that.
bring you back to like memories of like, oh my god, I
Totally.
remember that. Like that was crazy. Seriously, like my Disney one, I was so confident. I was like, okay, I have such a good mixture of games out here. Like everyone loves these games. It's gonna be the most popular one. Like I'm not gonna get any negative feedback. I was so confident. I was like peacock feathers strutting around. I posted and it was like 200 like, you suck. Like how do you get paid to write for this site? Like how did you not put like Donald Duck like quack shot on there? Like how you're such a loser. And I was like, you can never win.
No,
but
not
hey,
on the
every
internet.
comment
No.
is good
Yeah,
because the
everybody.
more comments, the more hits. Like
Right,
I mean, I
right.
got technically it's like the mean people are actually helping me out.
Well, isn't
So
that what they say?
I'm not
Keep
complaining.
hating, you're making me famous. That's what they say.
Yeah, so but
I mean, look
it's
at
fun to
Britney
do.
Spears. She has more haters probably than anyone, and look how famous she is.
But the one thing I love about Destructoid too, like, is like we can basically do anything we want. Like, I mean, if we come up with any idea, it's supported. Like, you know, there's no real like, it's an independent blog still. Like, we haven't been bought out by anyone yet. So like, since it's still run by basically just us. Like, we do anything we want. And I remember for E3 last year, I wanted to do a predictions post. So I went to the zoo. Like the actual LA Zoo, and I had the LA Zoo people work with me, and they actually took me around to all the animals, and I actually like asked all the animals E3 questions, and I had like their reactions to the questions like determine like what was gonna happen at E3. So I did this like epic post about like lions predicting like if the new DS will be announced, and like elephants predicting if like a new Kingdom Hearts game will be announced. It was so surreal and crazy, and it was so much fun. I was like, this is why I love Destructoid, because I'm like, I don't think any other site would like just let me do that. It was awesome. Like it was so awesome. And the zoo was like unbelievably like cool and supportive of it. So it's just neat to think of random ideas and just have it be supported. So it's pretty cool.
Absolutely.
So check out Destructoid if you
Yes.
haven't already.
If you guys
Awesome.
haven't checked it out, definitely check out Destructoid.com.
Yeah.
Chad's going to stick around because we're going into headlines right now, and we've got lots to talk about in the news this week. Our first story is back to the PS3 hacker story. PS3 hackers have unlocked all trophies, and do we care? So what the story is basically is that there's been another anonymous group that has come forward, and this time they are not gloating out there like Geohot did and like the other hacker group did, because those people got sued by Sony already, and so this group decided to stay anonymous so that they could not be in court with Sony, because that's not what anyone wants. But basically what it is you install this app on your PS3. Your PS3 has to be jailbroken, by the way, and then it unlocks trophies, all the trophies in games. Now it doesn't work for all games, but it works for, I guess, quite a number of them. And it actually gives you a fake timestamp, so it looks like a legitimate trophy, like you legitimately unlocked it.
Seems like so much work for like who cares?
Right?
I think that app is like probably the most awful thing that a guy has created to put on the PS3. I mean,
Yeah.
so many gamers work so hard to get those trophies, to get that number up there, and to think that, oh, well, now maybe that guy just put in the hack and that's not a real number, that's going to destroy the community that's been building in the PlayStation Network, because now you're not going to know if, is that a legit trophy or is that just a hack trophy? So, and the people that do have all those trophies are not going to look that great anymore because people are just automatically going to assume, oh, he probably just used a hack, whatever.
Yeah, absolutely.
weird.
And I mean, I just notice them when they occur, but I never like play a game to specifically unlock trophies.
A lot of people do, though.
Really?
Yeah, a lot of people,
Oh, it's
they
like
go on
Xbox.
trophy
It's like,
hunts.
I mean, the achievement whores, like, and that's where,
Achievement
like,
whores,
it's the same thing
Yeah.
with PS3. It's like people play games just to unlock that stuff.
It's
Like,
their
I mean,
e-penis,
yeah.
is what they call it.
It's better with trophies though.
I'm
'Cause-
serious.
It's better with trophies though, because trophies aren't as like accessible when you first like log on. You can't immediately see like what everyone has like so easily. So I don't feel as motivated to get trophies. You know, I'm kind of like, oh, if I get them, great. But with that gamer score though, sometimes it is just like sitting there and you're like, I want it to be higher so
Yeah,
bad.
I
you
admit
get like the
that,
shakes.
yeah.
I agree. No,
You get
it's
the
like,
shakes.
There's a guy in the Mahalo video games department, DK, who's got like a 20,000 point gamer score, which I'm like, I'm at like 4,000 or 5,000. I'm like, how did he do that?
I've seen people with
This is nuts.
100,000.
Oh no. This,
Yeah,
you think that's
it's-
crazy? Like I have 35,000. I thought it was high. But my friend, who like apparently like years ago he was on one of the highest in the world. His gamer score now is almost like 300,000.
Right.
I was
Yeah.
like, it's crazy. And now he's like real low. Like at the beginning he was like up there with like the top people in the world. But now he's like, you know, there's people out there with, I think someone just hit 1 million.
Yeah, they did a story about a guy who hit 1 million a few months ago.
Which is
but
just like, I don't know how you have
Yeah.
even time to do that. That's just insane.
I don't know.
Insane.
I don't know. I don't really care too much for the trophies. I mean, I don't play my PS3 that much anyway, but I mean, I don't know, just something about the word achievement, getting an achievement in a game. That's what it is. Like, you worked really hard for that achievement. I just feel like a trophy is just kind of like, eh. And you know what? I don't feel like it's a, I hate to say it, like a status symbol in the PS3 world, like having an abundant amount of trophies.
It isn't.
But
Right.
when you tell someone like, oh, I have 48,000 achievement points, people kind of are impressed to hear that.
Exactly.
Like, oh, wow.
It's a totally different world.
I think it goes back to the fact that Xbox Live is just a much more integrated, active community of gamers than the PlayStation
Totally.
Network is. They'll maybe catch up someday, but for right now, they're still #2 in my book.
Yeah. And at the
number
same
one.
time, I went, oh, I'm sorry.
They're number one in mine.
They're number one.
PlayStation
Yes,
is
because
number one in
Adrian
mine.
is a PS3 fanboy.
And trophies are awesome because trophies, you can visualize what a trophy looks like. You can't visualize an achievement.
I do like the different levels of
Alright,
trophies.
alright.
I like the bronze, silver, gold, like platinum level thing. That's kind of interesting to me. Like how some trophies are like harder to get, you know? With achievements, it's like, yeah, they might have more points or whatever, but they're all kind of in the same boat. It's interesting
Right.
that at least they kind of have different levels. That's interesting to me.
Yeah.
But that gamer score, man, it's just sitting there and it's just like, it's just
Taunting you.
It's taunting you. Like every time I just want like just a little higher.
Well, speaking of taunting, we got a really cool story up next. Jessica.
Yeah, so basically, there's a Mortal Kombat web series coming that I'm very excited about. So last year, I don't know if you guys remember, but a gentleman by the name of Kevin, I can't pronounce his last name, Tansharon, made his own little teaser video so he could show it to Warner Brothers, who owns the rights to Mortal Kombat, and hopefully get a movie produced, a full-length movie. Well, unfortunately, that didn't happen, but Bloody Disgusting is reporting that he will be directing an official Warner Brothers-produced 10-episode Mortal Kombat web series, with Michael J. White reprising his role from the short as Jax.
Which is what you can see right here.
This is
That
what's going
show
on
is
right
incredibly
now.
good.
Yeah, it's really good. I mean, I know you guys can't hear the sound now, but you really want to watch the whole thing. The
Yeah.
story is really, really
It's
good.
about an 8-minute short that you can find on YouTube, and then the battle between Johnny Cage and I can't remember who the other person was. Wasn't there 2 videos?
There was in this video they have
The flashback.
yeah, in the flashback he talks about how Scorpion came to be, and he also talks about Baraka.
Right, right.
And then in the interrogation room, they talk about how Johnny Cage was killed.
right.
And then in the interrogation room walks in
Sonya Blade. Right, right.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So it looks so amazing, and I think I would prefer to see as a web series online because you don't have, you know, the higher ups saying, no, we need to tone this down and make it PG-13, like the first Mortal Kombat movie was, which I still liked.
I love that movie.
Compared to what we've seen just in this short, it's so bloody. It's so, you know, it's more authentic to the Mortal Kombat universe.
And it also is kind of like a realistic take on it, which is interesting. And instead of in the short, at least, there's not a lot of supernatural like magic and monsters and stuff, which is like game is kind of like that. It's kind of neat that they have it more in like a realistic world.
Yeah.
Which kind of like with Christopher Nolan in the Batman series, it's like I feel like he kind of like takes everything and puts it into a more like realistic world, which I think is really interesting. And I would love to see a Mortal Kombat movie like that. That'd be awesome.
A dirtier, grittier version of what the series is supposed to be, as opposed to just kind of like this fantasy world that they created in the first movie. Like, I really like what I'm seeing, and I can't wait.
And the new game looks incredibly good.
Oh yeah,
we're both super pumped about
when
it.
I played it at some events, I was like blown away by how good it was. It's going to be incredible. I'm so happy because Mortal Kombat just like fell by the wayside, and now it's like back.
And it was like one of the pioneers for like these violent fighter games back in the day.
Right.
I remember that. So good.
And speaking of pioneers, Nintendo is coming out with the first ever 3D handheld, the 3DS. We know lots about this. We know that it could be good or it could be bad for your eyes, depending on which doctor you talk to. We know that it's going to be released in Japan and the UK, and it's going to be released in the United States on March 27th. And now we also know that it's going to have the mighty high price tag of $249.99. When I saw that, I was like, no way, no how. That's more than a console. You can get an Xbox for that price. Why would you pay that much for a handheld?
You can get an Xbox now for that price. Like you couldn't get an Xbox for that price at the beginning.
That's true.
And the 3DS will probably go down eventually in different iterations and stuff. But no, it is a lot of money. Like I expected it to be. I mean, I expected it to be that because that's what the hype was. But I was hoping it was going to be around maybe $150, $199 at the most. But I understand the 3DS is chock full of some pretty incredible features. I'm actually more excited about this than maybe any console in the last 5 years. Not even a console, any like system, I guess I should say, because it's handheld. They're just the stuff they're doing with it, and like I played it a few times, and it's so amazing. I think. I just think there's so much potential, and there's so much third-party support, and I really think they have that potential to make this thing pretty incredible.
We'll talk about some of the features in case some of our viewers aren't necessarily up on the fact that it does more than just 3D gaming without glasses.
Yeah. Well, first of all, to focus on that, seeing that for the first time is the weirdest thing ever, because it's like I couldn't imagine what it would be like until I had my hands on it.
Oh, of course.
And like the 3D is like for real 3D. It's not like just kind of this cheesy like depth thing. I mean, it really comes out of the screen. Like without glasses, it's like Harry Potter, like crazy magic stuff. It's crazy. But outside of that, and also you can adjust the 3D too. So you can like completely get rid of it. You can do it halfway, like if it bothers you, which is I think totally great for people that aren't into it. But I mean, it just has like, I mean, the friend codes are gone. So there's no more like playing multiplayer with like friend codes. Yeah, have one friend code at the beginning, kind of like registering your Xbox.
Yeah, so you won't have to have like a separate friend code for each damn game.
It's kind of like having the friends list on Xbox. Like you can just connect with another person and lock them in, and they're there forever.
And you'll be able to see what they're playing and if they are online at the time, which I think is brilliant for
one of my favorite features about it is such a small thing, but like there's this thing where like they can talk like amongst each other even when they're in sleep mode, just
like
not
Furbies.
Even playing. Yeah, so like if you're walking, perfect example. The memories. Perfect example is like if you're the new Street Fighter 4 for the 3DS that's coming out, which looks just as good as the graphics are amazing. If you have that in sleep mode when you're walking around with it, if someone else in a grocery store or on the subway or anything happens to have theirs in sleep mode too, your Street Fighter characters will fight without you even doing it. Like there's, like there's these little icons you have that look like little figurines, and they're based on your stats in your game. So the more wins you have, the more powerful your little figurine is. So while you're just walking around, your characters will be fighting with all different people around you within the radius, of like the Wi-Fi or whatever. And if you win the battle, even though you're not even playing, you'll get like, unlockables, maybe new costumes, new, artwork or whatever.
That's really cool.
So it's like a surprise every time you open it up.
Exactly.
Like,
so you might open your thing and they said like, oh, while you were walking around, you got to 5 battles, with random people, and like you won this many or whatever based on your stats. And I'm like, that to me is so cool.
And innovative.
And it actually makes me want to like, like carry it around more. And they have a pedometer built into the 3DS, and it actually will like record or like like track how much you've been walking around, and it actually translates into these like coins that you can use to purchase things on 3DS for free. So like the more you walk around with it, you can actually get stuff for free. You could download like tech demos or like demos for games or like things that might cost money.
So it's actually promoting healthy living as well.
Yeah, so it's kind of like gives you a lot of motivation to carry it around a lot more,
Yeah,
which is really neat.
That's a great
It's
idea.
little things like that I think add to it, and there's like a motion sensor in there, and like it takes 3D pictures, which seeing that for the first time is out of control. Like it's,
Yeah, I've seen these 3D printers that make the 3D pictures. It's pretty wild.
it's crazy. Like taking it to a regular picture, like really good quality, like very iPhone-esque quality. These 3DS pictures, and then it actually turns it to a 3D image. It's so neat. And there's rumors going around that maybe in a firmware update somewhere down the road they might even have 3D video, which is just like out of control, like for a little handheld.
Yeah.
So I think stuff like that is going to really make the experience like worth it.
Yeah.
But I agree, the $249 is a hefty price.
It is a hefty price,
yeah.
but it seems like now that you mentioned, like I knew about some of the things like the friend code and all of that, but I mean, it just seems like it's worth it. The fact that you can carry it around and have it with you at all times and stuff will always be happening. I mean, I think that's very brilliant. And, I really am kind of proud of Nintendo for, being kind of a step ahead of everyone in the industry so far. And the fact that they waited until January to make all of these announcements when they could have done it during Christmas, but they didn't want to be overshadowed or compete with, I would say, Microsoft and Sony and the Kinect and all that stuff. So to wait, it's such key timing, and to release it in March when, nothing else is going to be happening. Like that really is a good way for them to kind of excel and to kind of push ahead in the top three, or the big three, I should say.
And 3D is kind of a gimmick nowadays. Like 3D is a kind of a gimmick, and I'm worried it's going to go away. But with them, like the fact that it's optional, and also I think they're going to kind of incorporate the 3D more into their gameplay a little bit. I think that's really going to help, like hopefully not be a gimmick,
Yeah,
There's
absolutely.
a really big heated debate going on in the chat room
Oh
right
yeah?
now.
Well,
whether
have
or
to
not
tell
the
us
3DS
about it,
is-
and then we'll go
is
into your
worth it.
segment.
So some people are like all gung-ho about the 3DS, saying it's going to be God's gift to mankind. Others think
I agree with that.
that the 3D is really too much of a gimmick, and that because of the 3D, the screen is a little darker, and you can't move around while playing it because the 3D effect is going to start messing with your head. And that was mainly a PC nerd. And others think that it's really going to come down to the games, that the 3D is kind of like a throwaway thing.
I agree with that,
If the
too.
games work, if the games are good, then it will sell. If the games are crap, then it's not going to sell.
Definitely.
Absolutely.
Okay.
And speaking of games that will sell, we're talking about LittleBigPlanet2 and Yo Adrian today.
Yeah, so I know
never gets old.
hilarious.
It never
isn't
gets
it?
old.
I love that.
Ever,
I just love
ever.
that intro. So in this segment, what I do every week is that I take a particularly tough section in the game that I'm playing, and I kind of break it down for you. And if you have any requests, please make sure to either tweet us at This Week in Video Games, TWIVG, or tweet me at Godzilla Rex. So this week I'm going to be doing LittleBigPlanet2. And I'm decided to do the first 2 boss fights of the game, because they're particularly pretty tough, actually. It's not your typical platformer because of the wonky physics. So this video will show you how to master those 2, how to ace the level. All right, so in this one, what you have to do, it's a series of pulling levers with these like deathly yo-yos on top of you. So as soon as you pull those 2 levers, the platforms are going to start changing. Immediately go to the center platform, and you will be able to press a button right away. So now it's going to show you, as you progress through the fight, which levers are not activated. You have to go turn the red ones to green. So what I do is go to the one that's closest to you, right? The one that has the least amount of resistance. And then as soon as the yo-yo pops out, use the 2 layers, the 3 layers that you have there, to your advantage to be able to get to the other side of the screen in time. And now again, the scene's going to change a little bit. And what you want to do is use that bouncing platform to get up to the middle again and be in your safe zone. Because if you're hidden there, none of the yo-yos can hit you. And as soon as you're done there, go and pull that lever, and then you're going to have to pull 1 more, and then you're going to reach a really tricky section in this boss fight. So as soon as you pull this, the scene's going to change again. And now these other things are going to fall down, and now you're going to have to use your grapple hook to hook against them. So the first thing you want to do is hook with the right one. And after you hook the right one, pull the lever on the right. Now immediately afterwards, you're going to start running to the left so that yo-yo that comes down doesn't hit you. So you run to the left, hook there, pull that lever, and now a third one's going to come down. Now as soon as that clears its way, use the inertia from the previous one to swing over to the third one, and you'll be able to defeat that guy.
Woo!
Now this guy is a little easier because he does the same attack 3 times. So in this one, you just go to the corner of the stage, jump, and throw right from the middle of the window, and you'll be able to hit him. Do that 2 more times, and you'll go on to the second part of the fight, which is this. He will break in, and now he's going to change his tactics a little. He's going to fire these little blobs at you. Stand right where I'm standing. None of the blobs are going to hit you. Then wait for it. He's going to open his mouth again, hit him, and do that 2 more times, and you will be good. Now it's for the 3rd and final phase of the fight. He's going to start shooting lasers at you. Don't get worried about it. It's going to be fine. You just stay in the center. He shoots 1 laser at the top, 1 in the middle, and as soon as he shoots it, go to the little bounce platform, go to the top, shoots 1 on the bottom, go back down, and then as close as possible, throw that thing on his mouth. You do that 2 more times, and you will then conquer that boss fight as well.
Wow, I never would have been able to do that on my own. That's
Always
pretty impressive.
Always impressed, Adrian.
And I have to give a big shout out to your awesome snake sack boy.
Oh yeah, if you notice,
Yeah, that was really cool. I agree with that.
what I did is that I got the Metal Gear Solid 4 Sackboy, and the thing is that I really don't like the old Snake look. So what I did is I took off his mustache and then painstakingly painted his hair black and his bandana black, gave him a little beard, gave him a little Western mustache, but because I disguised it with the black, it looks like a beard, more like a beard. And just to spice up the costume a little bit, I also gave him Wolverine claws, because I felt, Snake Wolverine,
Obviously.
Hugh Jackman,
Nice.
kind of.
All right. Well, very cool. Thank you so much again. You guys can email him and us at videogames@thisweekend.com. But now we're bringing back a segment that we haven't had in so long, and we have our favorite host from This Week in Horror, one of our brand new shows. Matt Robb is in the studio with us.
Woo! What's happening, everybody? Are you guys ready?
Yes.
For bonus points. It's
I'm
going to be so much
excited.
fun.
I'm so excited.
We are ready.
We do have a bell, so the 3 of us can hit the bell, but Adrian still has to shout.
So we have to
All
like.
right, so whoever shouts,
Oh my
whoever
God, I gotta
shouts
get close.
the loudest.
So it's going to be,
gotta
I guess
scoot
it's
up
going to
here.
be free for all.
It is
May
free
the,
for all.
may the
All right.
best man or woman
So wait, we
win.
just buzz in when we know the answer?
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm first to
There's so
buzz.
much pressure, I don't know what to do.
Unfortunately, I
Just don't
didn't.
scratch me.
No dolphin questions. I didn't make any dolphin. I tried. It was too late. If only I knew about your love of dolphins. I'm sorry.
Next time.
Next time.
Love
Next
it.
time.
All dolphin trivia, and I'll demolish all of you.
Are we ready?
Ready?
Yes.
For bonus points. Here we go. Question number 1.
Okay.
Atari founder and creator Nolan Bushnell also founded what famous chain of family entertainment
Here,
centers?
I know it.
Oh, I know that one.
Adrian.
Oh, Adrian.
Chuck E. Cheese.
Chuck E. Cheese is correct.
Oh,
Very
okay,
nicely
okay.
done. That's 1 point for the man in the corner. Question number 2. What company developed the very first graphic-based video game? Andrea.
Atari?
False.
Graphic.
What company?
So what game developed the first video game?
What company developed the very first
10
graphics-based?
seconds.
Graphic base.
Hurry. Who knows?
Me, Nintendo.
False. It is Sierra Online.
Oh,
That's a tough one.
Magnavox.
Chapter Magnavox.
Magnavox. That's-
Dead pixel line.
Here's an easier one, a little more current.
Okay.
What game had an Easter egg that let you play as a giant walking tofu equipped only with a knife?
Super Meat Boy?
False. It is relatively recent.
Giant walking tofu?
It is a sequel.
Giant.
It is a sequel. These aren't that hard. Who
Giant
knows?
walking tofu
Apparently
with
they
what?
are.
Giant
With a
tofu
knife?
with only a knife.
I have no idea.
Resident Evil
Evil.
2 is the correct
no,
answer to that
Resident
question.
Evil.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Adrian is still in the lead with 1 point.
I love how Chad is like, oh
missed
yeah, I
really
remember
hard.
that. Oh yeah.
All right,
I
fine.
feel like I know more.
A bit of a crossover, What Simpsons actor lent his voice in the game StarCraft?
Oh no.
Hank Azaria.
No, false, both of yous. What?
Dan Castellaneta.
False. It is not Dan Castanatella. It is Harry Shearer, who voiced the character Science Vessel. The next question.
are hard.
A little bit of sports. A little bit of sports.
Oh, great. Sports. I know nothing about sports.
It's not what you think. What pro athlete made a video game that has nothing to do with his profession?
Chad Ochocinco.
Falso.
Guessed.
Oh, wait.
Tony Hawk?
Falso.
No, I don't know.
Oh,
Read the
come
question
on.
again.
What pro athlete made a video game that has nothing
that's
to
a good
do
question. I feel like
with his profession?
I cheated and looked at the chat, but I already answered.
Aw.
I don't even know if it's right.
Who is it?
Shaquille O'Neal.
Oh,
with
that's
the game
right.
Shaq Fu.
That's right, based on his amazing movie.
Exactly. All right.
What a classic.
I think Adrian is still in the lead with the only point of the board. This is
I'm super embarrassed. I was so confident too at the beginning. I was like, I'm gonna get all these right.
This is like Celebrity Jeopardy. It's like you guys have negative points now. This is where we're at. I'm glad we're not doing this for charity. The next question, what was the color of the Donkey Kong 64 cartridge Go? Yellow.
Oh, everything. Yellow is right.
Yellow is right. We're gonna give it to Chad.
Yeah. He didn't
He had to reach
technically
for the
buzz
bell.
in.
He had to, like,
But he didn't
he was
technically buzz in.
reaching.
All right.
I
So
just
we
need
have a
one point
tie.
to leave confident.
We have a tie. It might be a male heavy tie, but it's a tie. Here's the tiebreaker question.
It's okay.
Oh, this is
How
tied.
many
Okay.
Koopa kids, that's Bowser's children, are in Super Mario Brothers 3?
7.
Can you name them?
Oh God.
Who can name them?
For bonus points.
For bonus points, who can name them?
Oh my God. Morton Koopa Jr. is
That's
one
one.
of them.
That's one.
Lenny.
Lemmy.
Lemmy, yeah.
Lemmy. I'll tell you what. I'll give them to you.
This
It's
is hard.
Roy, Larry, Iggy, Ludwig von Koopa,
Yes.
Lemmy, Wendy O. Koopa, and Morton Koopa Jr.
Yes.
There it is. Looks like our guest for
Nice.
today is the winner.
Yay.
I needed that.
Nicely
Well,
done.
Matt, thank you so much for coming on the
Thank
show.
you guys
Like
so
I said,
much.
if you guys haven't checked out our brand new show, This Week in Horror, it airs Monday nights at 7:30 p.m.
7:30.
live. You should check it out. They have a couple episodes already up on our YouTube page. That's youtube.com/thisweekend. It's a really awesome show. Check it out. Thank you so much for joining us. Chad, thank you so much for coming
gosh,
on
it
the
was
show
great.
today.
Thank
Loved
you.
having you. Check out Destructoid.com. It's
Yes.
a fantastic site. And once again, if you guys want to follow us on Twitter, it's at TWIVG. I'm at Andrea Renee. She's at Jess V. He's at Godzilla Rex. And you're at Chad_Concelmo.
Yes, good one.
Yes, I got it. And Matt, you're at Matt Rob, right?
At Matt Rob.
Well, fantastic.
There it is.
Thank you so much again for joining us. We are changing times next week. Bulletin. We are moving days. We are moving to Wednesday nights at 7 p.m. Pacific time. It's 10 p.m. Eastern. So mark it on your calendars, gamers. This Week in Video Games is moving to Wednesdays, and it starts next week. Thanks so much again, and now it's game over.